Hello, Top Fan Rivalry followers. Obviously, it's Bill from Top Fan Rivalry. We're here with another rivalry talk. We got one returning guest and a couple of new ones, and we are going to have a blast today. So we're going to talk a little SoCal baseball, and we're going to see kind of where this goes. Obviously, you're focused on me right now, but when you look to the left or right of me, it gets a lot better than just me. So, and then there's Wes at the end. So, that's where we get. But let's get started. So I'm just going to kind of roll right through this and start asking the questions. Jim, I'm going to start with you.
Right.
And you are a baseball fan, but when did that start? How did that start?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of started from birth. My parents, my grandparents are not just baseball fans, but Dodger fans. I played baseball I played t-ball when I was 5. I think it's the sport I love the most because I played it, and so I understand it the best. But yeah, from birth.
Okay. What about you, Karina?
For me, it started when I was little. My dad and my mom would take me to the game, my uncle, but I didn't really pay attention. I was more interested in this. And then when I met my ex-husband, like late '99, that's where we used to go for our dates, and then that's how my love grew.
Game started?
Yeah.
Okay, I love it. I love it. Wes?
I was 6 years old. I started playing baseball. My dad signed me up for baseball, and it was a love for baseball right away. And I think the nostalgia of baseball, as an adult, I think, like Jim said, playing baseball, and then being able to watch the guys on the field, that's kind of like maintained my lifelong fandom of baseball.
Fandom of baseball? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I think I can remember the first time I picked up a ball that was bigger than my hand. And so
Yep.
it was just from there. And obviously, I think it's the best sport in
I
the
do
world,
too.
but some will argue otherwise, right? I mean, if you're like an A's fan right now, you might argue that there's other things to go on, right? But that's
Or Oakland.
Peaks and
yeah,
valleys.
Oakland/Las Vegas, whatever it ends up being. Sorry, A's fans, as you're watching this, my bad. If you have issues, I'll give you Jim's Instagram account. You can take it out with her. Anyways, okay, so Wes, let's do round 2 here. When did your love? I know that you're a Dodger fan, but when did that start?
That started probably around the same time, and I attribute it to a couple of things. My dad. I mean, we used to go to Angel games too because we lived in Orange County. But my dad and my uncles, Fernando Valenzuela, Fernando Mena, Mexican American family, that and then baseball cards. So you'd watch Ben Scully and the Dodgers. That was when they had the famous infield: Garvey, Lopes, Say, and Russell. And then you collect baseball cards, and you can kind of relate to that. So then that drew my love to the Dodgers and Dodger Blue. So since about 6 years old too.
Do you remember just side note, do you remember the Unical 76, 8.5 by 11 kind of baseball card things that they used to do?
I've got 100 of those at home. Yeah.
Okay, so you
Gas
do. Yeah,
station?
I still have them too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so Karina, I can tell that you're not an Angels fan at all with that gear. But when did your love for the Angels start?
Probably about '99 when I started going to the actual game and paying attention to it, and then they started getting really good. And then you had Mike Scioscia as a coach. You had my favorite used to be number 25.
Okay, Troy
Third
Glaus.
baseman, yeah. And then just going, and then they won in 2002, and then the great players started coming, like Mike Trout, and then one of my most favorites from 2001, when he came in as a rookie, was Pujols. So I used to like him, and my ex would get mad at me because he's like, well, why didn't you become a Cardinals fan? Well, he still wears red, so it's kind of like it. And then when he came, I was like even more excited. So yeah, about 99, 2000, that's when I love.
So when Shohei signs with the Dodgers, you're gonna.
Shohei's not signing with the Dodgers.
I was just wondering.
No.
I can't protect you from this far away. If she hits you,
wanted to know.
there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, I do
Little
kickboxing,
backhand.
okay?
Little backhand.
Wes, duck. All right, Jim, when did it start for you?
Similarly to Wes, it started around the same time I started playing baseball. And my dad never let me skip school. My dad loved Tommy Lasorda because Italian, he's got that kind of like fiery attitude. And my dad let me skip school to go to a Dodger game. And we sat in the sun and got sunburned, but it was the best experience ever. And we listened to Vin on the radio. So all of that just started. at that
Perfect day
time.
right there.
Wait a
Yeah.
second. So it wasn't about the team, it wasn't about the players, it was about the fact that you got to skip school.
Absolutely. And now I've been in school for life, so
I was
Spend
gonna-
time with Dad.
I was gonna say
Spend
you
time
have a
with Dad.
You're making up for
PhD,
it.
and you're like if
But
I
that
would have known
day-
that one day would make me get a PhD, I would have gone to school that day and not had to worry about it.
My dad probably would have done the same. Kept me in school.
There you go. There you go. All right, so Karina, I'm gonna start with you on this next question. What excites you about going to a game, or what? I like going to the games better than watching them on TV, but what excites you just about game time?
Well, this
Showtime.
for now.
Showtime.
Showtime for
Showtime.
now.
It's gonna be a lot of blue here in a
No,
couple
no,
of
no.
months.
And then just I get lost in once I go in there, like the scents of the grass and the wet turf and the cheering of the crowd, I just forget about everything, and I'm like lost in my own little world. And then you get like the home runs, and just Angel Stadium for me is just my home away from home. I forget about everything, and kind of like Disneyland when you go in there,
Yeah.
you just like in a whole new world. So.
Love that.
Whole new world. I think there's a song about that from Disney, but I
Yeah.
have to look it up.
Sing it,
right?
Bill.
It's a
Sing
good-
it.
No. No. If I started singing, my poor wife would be going, cut, edit that out, edit that out. For me, going to Angel Stadium, so I grew up in Orange County, and so back when I was in high school, they had getaway days on Wednesdays, so they would play at
Oh,
1
yeah.
o'clock. And if we didn't have baseball practice, we were out of school at 11:30, and those tickets back then were $1 to sit up in the nosebleed. So we'd pay a buck, sit up in the nosebleed, and then just work our way down as people were. But it was like you say, it's the crack of the bat, it's the sunshine, it's just the feel of not having to worry about anything else. Like you've got 2.5 hours. Doesn't matter what's going on in your life. It's just right now, right here, we've got just something fun, right? I
Yeah.
like it. I like it. Wes, what about you?
Oh man, it goes back to the nostalgia of the game, having played it. For example, I went to a minor league game last night, and I sat. Minor league games are affordable, so I sat right behind home plate, and like you see a foul ball go up, and you automatically can feel what it's like to track that ball and catch it. It's just the whole nostalgia. That you know what it's like to be on the grass. You know the smells and the crack of the bat. Those kind of things that bring you back to your childhood. I think everybody wants to be drawn back to the favorite memories of their childhood, and that's what baseball does for me. So that's why I love it so much, and that's why I'll go anywhere and watch baseball, minor league, major league, wherever it is. It's just the actual game that I'm drawn to.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about stadiums in a second, but I agree with you. It's all about just being there, and even just walking in and smelling the ballpark food, which none of it's healthy for you,
And
right?
none of
But
it tastes good.
Just yeah, exactly. And you just smell it and you just get excited. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yep,
Right? I'm
that's right.
here. What about you?
Yeah, I have to agree with my co-hosts. There's nothing like going, especially Dodger Stadium. There's history everywhere you
Did you
turn.
hear that? Especially Dodger Stadium. Okay, just, I just,
Sorry.
just want to get that on
It's
record.
okay. We
It's-
used to play there too.
That's,
Yeah.
that's true. You were the first
Yes,
occupants of Dodger
exactly.
Stadium.
That's
There
right.
you go.
It's okay.
To advocate for the TV, I guess. When I'm watching a game at Dodger Stadium now, I honestly have to watch the game back the next day to understand what really happened. And when you're watching TV now, it's more accurate than like the players can see because
Yeah.
you can see exactly how a pitcher misses or like where he hits the strike zone. You can see where exactly a ball is going. I mean, you've got all these statistics.
Launch angle and bat speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that does make me feel like I'm getting an accurate sense of what's happening. But there is nothing like sitting in those seats and your wallet emptying out.
Especially at Dodger Stadium for a $30 michelada.
Yeah. They are about that
That
now, yeah.
barbecue plate, though, for $50 will feed you and about 5 people.
Okay,
It's pretty
that maybe was
impressive.
worth it.
Yeah.
I actually very much like it's the excitement for me watching it on. So I'm weird like this. Everybody loves going to opening day. I've done it twice and I can't stand it. And I'll tell you why. At Dodger Stadium, for some reason, on opening day, it is 150 degrees in the shade. I don't know why that is.
Yes.
And so you drive up there from Orange County. It takes you about 5.5 hours to get up there. Okay. You sit in the sun regardless of where you're at. And you're there with everybody that doesn't know anything about baseball for the most part, right? Because everybody's just like, oh, it's the biggest gig in town,
Yeah.
right? And then you get out of the parking lot. That takes you an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An hour and a half, maybe 3.
And you get it. Well, You get home, and before you know it, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. You're like, well, that game started at 1 in the afternoon. What happened? So I never go to opening day anymore. I'll watch it on TV, get
Yeah.
the better perspective. Maybe I'll go to game 2, but opening day
Yeah.
to me is, I'm just not excited. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just not excited. Even going to Anaheim Stadium for opening day, it's the same thing. You get there, you're in the parking lot, you're there with everybody. It's always hot, right? And you just, you know.
That's definitely me. I'm definitely that fan that's like, yeah, we're here.
The trick is to get there at 4:30 for
Mm.
Angel Stadium. Get there at 4:30, park, and then as soon as the doors open, you go in there. You get your food right away because
Yeah.
opening day is packed, and then you just hang out.
Oh,
That's how you do it.
okay. You'll have to convince me at one of these times. We'll go to Anaheim Stadium for opening day.
Yeah, I'll go pick you up.
There we go.
Uber. All
There
right.
you go. Karina the Uber.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. All right, so Wes, I'm gonna start with you on this next question. Besides for Dodger Stadium, what's your second favorite ballpark to visit? And don't just give me a name. Tell me why. Whether
Okay.
it's the food, the people, whatever.
All right, I was just talking to Amber and the girls about. I just 2 weeks ago went to Boston for the first time and went to Fenway
Okay.
Park and saw a game. And there's no experience like it. It's like going back in time. You're sitting in the rickety old seats that who knows who sat in those. You're looking at the field where Babe Ruth played. You got the Green Monster, the people, the passion. It's packed, and they're calling out the Yankees when the Yankees aren't even playing. I mean, it's just a full baseball experience. It's a great city. I didn't want the game to end. It was like that. When the game ended, I was bummed I had to go. So I would go there, 100 times a year if I could.
Yeah.
It was an awesome experience. So yeah, Boston Fenway Park definitely. It's everything they say about it and more. I think.
Yeah, yeah. We've done the tour. We're actually going in a week, but by the time this airs, we'll have gone, and I'll make sure I send you some pictures. That the Dodgers will be there, and it'll be a lot of fun.
I went to
So-
see our Dodgers play. Justin Turner, Kike was still there, and
Yep.
Kenley. So I mean, half the team's there anyways on Boston. So you
Oh,
can't
great.
lose. You're going to see everybody
Make us
in
proud,
one place.
So that's the Boston Red Sox of Los Angeles, is what you're saying.
That's pretty much it right now.
All right.
That's right.
Kind of like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
That's right. Yeah.
Apparently.
I
However
think
that
they
goes.
dropped the Anaheim name already. I think
No.
it's just like Los Angeles Angels.
Did
They dropped it. Yeah.
Okay. There's a contract thing with the city, so I'm glad they dropped it.
They dropped
finally.
it.
All right. See, there you go. Next time Artie calls me, I won't send him a voicemail.
Already.
I'll just. I'll,
Were you going
I'll
to buy the
take his
team?
call.
Were you going to buy the team? Is that
Yeah,
what it
let's
was?
do it.
I was
Let's buy it.
going to, but then he told me I had to pay for my own baseballs there.
Oh, yeah, I
I
know.
said, as long as you cover the cost of the baseballs, I'm
No,
in.
Artie's
and
not
he
gonna do
said
that.
no. And so I'll give him your number next time he calls. I'll say, hey, call Karina. She wants to buy the team. She's got some ideas. You might need to put the phone down for a second because she might let you have it a little bit, but it'll be okay. You won't have to worry about paying Shohei's contract by then.
I know. I just need a blank check.
There you go.
Yeah.
Favorite ballpark outside Dodger Stadium?
Yeah, it was between Fenway and I'll say Wrigley.
Yeah, Wrigley's a good third choice. Yeah.
It's another historical ballpark. I used to live in Chicago, and we'd have morning class, and we would take the train, the L, up to Wrigley, and all around Wrigley are these bars, and people are hammered before the game, probably because it's so cold, but just But the stadium has this feel of like, I didn't think anybody was super intense. I mean, they're intense about their fandom for the Cubs, but no one was like mean
Yeah.
or rude. They were kind of just like, yeah, boys, let's go. And the Dodgers have had some good success at Wrigley recently, so
Recently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to Slugger's Bar outside Wrigley Field. It has a batting cage in it. It has a batting cage in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
We can't
it
lose.
is, yeah.
There was
It's a
one
wild
bar
time.
that actually has reached out to us for a watch party, and when we're not rolling, I'll tell you a little bit about that. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's actually going to be fun.
Oh, cool.
All right, outside of Anaheim Stadium.
For me, well, at that time it was AT&T Park
Uh-huh.
and Oracle Park. I mean, I just love San Francisco. I've
It's a
been
nice
there. It'll be my third time that I go back, but I'm gonna take the tour for it in September. But the water, the
the
city,
bay.
the food, their garlic fries are the best. Just
They do have good food.
the big Coke bottle. I just love Oracle Park. It's just so pretty.
I have been there for a game, and I had a very unique experience. I almost got into a fight for saying something stupid.
You?
That was my bad. It was actually a Padres years ago. Padres
Giants.
game, and this guy was getting drunk in front of us, and he saw me wearing a Dodger hat, and he didn't mind the first 4 or 5 innings, but as he got more drunk, he started to mind. And then he started saying stuff, and there was a family sitting right next to me. So I politely asked him,
Yeah.
to maybe look up different words. And he didn't like that so much, which was my fault. Now, not to placate this panel here, but my favorite ballpark, because of the nostalgia outside of Dodger Stadium, is actually Anaheim Stadium. Because I've been there so much as a kid. I've probably been to 500 Angel games. And I've said this on podcasts before, but my mom didn't want me to play football because she thought it was too violent. So my stepdad took me to a game at Anaheim. First game that I ever been to. Ground ball to shortstop in about the 3rd inning. Shortstop throws into the runner. First baseman goes to grab it. They collide. They both get taken off on stretchers.
Ooh, how
And-
fun.
And I'm like, so not violent, huh, Mom? All right, I'll play this sport. This looks cool. It's like ultimate backfire, mother. Woo! That worked out well. So, yeah,
Yep.
I have to say Anaheim Stadium. Okay, next question. Favorite baseball moment?
Yeah, I was like really trying to. Okay, so I was not actually at Dodger Stadium for this moment. It was the first game of the 2017 NLCS. We were playing the Cubs, and we were at the Dodgers were at Dodger Stadium. My family was sort of like, this is the year we're going to save our money to go to the World Series game. So we were at the USC game at the Coliseum, and there was no phone service. So we're like, what's happening? So everyone in our section was taking turns, like going all the way out to get an update. They'd come back, they'd say, okay, the Dodgers are, doing this. Finally, on the Jumbotron, they show Puig's home run, and everyone erupts. And it was this moment of LA pride. It was so, so cool. So I wasn't even at the game, but it was like this, connection between the USC, fans, the Coliseum, and the Dodgers, and it was pretty cool.
Okay, I like it. I've gone to plenty of Kings games, and it used to drive me nuts when they would post, when I would be DVRing the game and they'd post the score. I'm like, oh, come on. So much for watching the game. The
Right.
Dodgers won.
Spoiler alert.
So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they should announce it. Spoiler alert, in 10 seconds, we're going to post a Dodger thing.
Yeah.
Don't look up. Got it. Favorite baseball moment?
I was there for the Detmers no-hitter.
Okay.
But it's special
Aw.
because it was May 10th, which is Mexican's Mother's Day. So,
Okay.
and my mom
Yeah.
loves baseball. So I'm like, what do you want to do for baseball? She's like, I want to go to the game. I'm like, for Mother's Day, I want to go to the game. I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then he hit the no-hitter. And there was
That's
also
awesome.
a Mike Trout bobblehead night, I believe, that night. So
Wow.
So which one was better, the Trout bobblehead or the no-hitter?
the no-hitter.
You have to stop and think about that for a second.
And then I do have 2 other memorable games, which are kind of sad. I was there for the first and only game that
The
Adrian
game
Hart
part.
pitched.
Oh yeah.
And then I was there for the last game that number 45 pitched
Oh,
before
yeah.
he passed.
Okay.
That was
So those are
sad.
special, but
Definitely.
not special.
Yeah. Yeah. I can understand those. Those are definitely memorable moments for even special to say that you did it, right? And so that's cool.
Yeah.
Wes.
Oh man, you got to narrow it down to one.
You know?
Dodgers, it's hard to narrow it down to one. I mean, Kirk Gibson's walk-off, right? Everybody knows
Right.
that one. But what about Justin Turner in the NLCS? Justin Turner's walk-off. Justin Turner,
Against John Lackey.
former, he's a fellow former Cal State Fulton Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got him hitting that ball and, with his hands up. And I have that bobblehead too, by the way.
That is
That is one of my favorite moments, in modern Dodger history. I mean, everybody knows Kirk Gibson, but those are kind of like 2 famous
Yeah.
moments in Dodger history. And then I'll throw one in real quick. 1976, Rick Monday grabbing the flag of the Cub.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the greatest baseball moments, I think.
Yeah.
Baseball being America's pastime, me being a former service member. I mean, yeah, you can't get more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
More American than that.
I agree. I can tell you what the smells of the room were like when Kirk Gibson hit the home run.
Oh,
Like,
man.
I remember what I was eating. When
Yep.
I was young enough where I was impressionable
Yep,
enough for
me
that.
too.
I remember Garvey's home run as a Padre when he put his.
I remember
arm
that
up.
too.
But I have to tell you, one of my most unique but fun, favorable moments happened last week. So I was at Anaheim Stadium. So my nieces and nephews had come into town, and they had never been to professional baseball before. And so we did Dodger Stadium on a Thursday night, Hello Kitty night. We
Oh,
did
geez.
Anaheim Stadium when we got the bag. right? And then
Oh, yeah, the
on
trout bag.
Yeah, and then on Saturday we did Petco. And so we're having lunch on Friday, and I said, so what can we do to make it a better experience? And they said, well, one of my nieces said, well, Uncle Bill, I want a baseball. I'm like, oh, you have no idea. I've been to like
Sure.
2,000 games,
No
and I
problem.
have like 7 balls, right? So Walmart has MLB balls.
Yeah.
So I go to the local Walmart. They have 10 on stock, but nobody can find them,
Oh,
right? And I'm thinking, okay, this isn't good. So I actually had a person on a podcast who has some relationships with some people in the Angels organization. So I called him up hour before the game, and I said, I'm driving to the game in an hour. I hate to ask you for a favor, but can you get me 4 baseballs? One for each of my nieces, one for each of my nephews. And he says, I'll do my best.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty late notice. So at the bottom of the first inning, this guy taps me on the shoulder and he says, are you Bill Perkins? And I said, yeah. And he hands me a bag. He says, this is from the clubhouse attendant, and it's 4 baseballs. And I handed them out to my nieces and nephews.
Oh, nice.
That's an
Wow.
experience that's a lot of fun because it's family,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
right?
That's-
It didn't happen on the field, but it was kind of cool.
no, I love that.
That's all part of it, though. That's
Yeah.
the best part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
The memories, the
Right.
core memories you make, especially with the kids.
Yes,
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best
Yeah.
part of baseball.
they are. Okay, final question, and it's fun that this starts with you. Since you're sandwiched with 2 Dodger fans,
Right.
this is fun that this question starts with you. Why is your team the best team to watch in baseball? I was going to say,
I mean, enough said.
drop the mic, that's good enough.
I legitimately want that shirt.
That's all. I don't need to say
When
anything.
he gets to our team, you can.
Yeah,
get it.
not
we'll
going
get
to
one of
your
blue
team.
and, yeah.
It's all right.
When he goes to Seattle, we can get one.
No,
in
he's
the
not going to Seattle.
That'll be a good one, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a very good argument. Hey, so on the Around the Diamonds every Saturday morning, this morning we actually talked about who the NL MVP could be. There's a bunch of candidates. AL MVPs
Yeah.
it's already decided.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's got 40 home runs. He's already got 10
shoo-in.
wins. Like, he's doing stuff that is like video games, right? You can't even do it on a video game.
That's right.
And so, yeah, so that mic drop, you win. What makes the Dodgers better than anybody else to watch?
For me, it's the history. I mean, from Jackie all the way on, the nostalgia that it brings, the Vin Scully. I mean, all the players, you can go on forever. It's that. It's the stadium. It's the third oldest stadium, and you go there, and that brings me back to my childhood. Go with my uncles. Anaheim does that too, but the players and the nostalgia and the history of the organization, the Dodgers organization, just like the Giants, just like the Yankees in Boston, it just stands out. It's timeless. So for me, that's what it is.
Nice. What about you? Kiki. Do
Yep.
I
you like the Kiki dance, by the way?
No.
Okay.
or this one.
And they're making
or
fun of
this
Freddie. They're making
one,
fun
or-
of Freddie Freeman's dance at the
Yeah.
gala, but it actually is working out pretty good.
Yeah.
I think Freddie's
Yeah.
onto something.
They're really nailing it to this. Yeah, like looks better. I will always watch the Dodgers. I love watching our team. I heard the other day that it was Jason Hayward's birthday, and Freddie at midnight woke up and knocked on his door and like brought him a cake and sang. And the care that the team
Camaraderie,
has for
yeah.
each other, and they bring their families into it. I think that makes me feel like I'm watching something that, like, the same values that my family
Yeah,
has,
very good.
caring for each other. So I appreciate that.
So when I was down in Petco this last week, during batting practice, Clayton Kershaw was this close to Bobby Miller, coaching Bobby Miller and showing him different things. And Julio Urias's little Nino was like shagging fly balls with him and throwing them to the fans. Kid was 5 or 6, and he's catching
Yeah.
balls and he's throwing them up to the fans. The fans were like, great, and he's just loving it. So it's
Yeah.
great.
Huh.
So I want to first of all, I want to thank our panel. Our panel's been great. Jim, Karina, Wes. They've all been on the podcast before. You can listen to their episodes. They've been fantastic guests here today. We've had some fun. I think if we have a winner on that last question, Karina being able to say Shohei, I think kind of
Yeah.
like us Dodger fans, we can't like argue with that. It's just like, yeah, you win. But make sure you're checking this out. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you want to be on one of these episodes. We do them all the time, especially in the off season. We're going to start doing them a lot more. So Wes, Karina, Jim, thanks for the time. This has been great.
Thanks, Phil.
y'all.
Appreciate
you.
it.
Good work.
You bet.
Good to meet you
Yeah.
guys.